linguistic tools for language learning. So I'm going to demonstrate to you what it looks like to do more than one language on Duolingo. Today I think we're going to mostly do Japanese, and we'll see bits and pieces of a few other things. Still in the intro stage.
Genki.
Genki, healthy, vigorous.
Ki.
So we're matching kanji with the phonetic symbols on the right, the readings of the character. Ki. This one is the only one read ki.
英語と日本語が話せます。
英語と日本語が話せます. Since it's declarative, there's no subject named, but since it's a simple declarative sentence, the most likely interpretation is I can speak 話せます, potential form, English and Japanese.
A
means yes, casual style. Genki.
元気 A もちろんです。
Yes, of course. もちろん.
A 元気です。
Yes, I am well. Healthy, vigorous. 話せ
話せ
元気
元気
英語
英語
私
き
So one thing I haven't mentioned about Japanese is the various accent patterns, which ones each word takes.
お元気ですか
I'm going to pay special attention to that as we go.
お元気ですか
お元気ですか You'll hear that some syllables have a higher pitch, some a lower.
お元気ですかお元気ですか
From o to ge, those first two syllables in the sentence, there's a tonal upstep. Listen to that.
お元気ですか
Genki desu ka? Are you well? Basically, greeting, how are you? Not literally, how are you, but, well, pretty close. Are you well?
話せ
Able to speak. Ki.
き
Air, gas, spirit, breath. Genki.
元気
Contains that ki. Gen. Well, the Chinese character refers to original, the origin, the root.
私
She, I, me. Eigo.
英語
English.
もちろんです。A もちろんです。
もちろんです. Just all phonetically. Don't need a word space, they're not used. もちろんです. The u in desu tends to be whispered or just be inaudible.
A もちろんです。
もちろんです. But we know it's underlinedly there. Basically, you can't end a Japanese word in a consonant sound. The closest is the N is in Nihon. Really, everything's going to end in a vowel, every lexical word, including a verb like desu. I can speak. So, we're going to start with the object. It's the object of the English sense, that which is spoken. It's not really the object in Japanese, though. We're going to say eigo to. Okay, so first I'm going to get all the kanji I need in this graphic input. I'll dictate as we go. See, it breaks down characters into their graphic shapes. So instead of being phonetic, we sort of enter a description of each character as we go. Eigo is T for the grass, L, B, K. It predicts my goal. Eigo to Nihongo ga. Okay, we're translating. Then we're going to get some phonetic ones. That'll be the next round. Nihongo ni go. Y-R-M-R. Hanasu. We need that kanji for the root of hanasu, to speak, and it's Y-R-H-G-R. Hanasu. And the rest is written phonetically. Let's put it in here to be safe. Eigo to Nihongo ga. And ga is interesting because I think it's connected to the fact that the verb is in the potential form. It's in the wrong place. Nihongo ga. They exist, and I can speak them. Hanase, we're going to write that last syllable there. Hanasemasu. Hamasu, rather. Hanasemasu, simple declarative in the formal style. I can speak. So we start with English and Japanese conjoined. Eigo to Nihongo ga is the choice of particle. And all we have left to express is I can speak them. We're going to drop the subject. We say hanasemasu with the suffix e to show potential. Okay. How are you? Jon-san. So in this input one, I like it because with caps we get katakana, and with lowercase we get hiragana. Ogenki desu ka? We'll just put this phonetically. No need for word space. Desu ka. Just one syllable after another. I could say san as well. It's a good get into that habit. Jon-san. Ogenki desu ka? Ogenki desu ka? Would accept kanji there too. So kanji, reminder, are Chinese characters created in China to write the Chinese language, family of languages, and then imported a couple millennia ago-ish, about 1.5 millennia ago or so, I think, into Japan. At first just to write Chinese, but then once people started learning it, the script was adapted to write the Japanese language into 2 forms.
名前
And we're just linking. Those are kanji on the left. Name front. They're a compound word, and the reading is can be shown phonetically. Namae, like that. First one is na. Second mae.
ジョンさんはイタリア語が話せます。
Listen for the accent. Listen for the up steps and the down steps.
ジョンさんはイタリア語が話せます。
イタリア語が
話せます。話せます。
I really like that it gives you audio if you just hover over the underlined word.
イタリア語
Italiago. So the go suffix is really kind of like our ish, as in English. Shows up in a few forms. Scottish, Irish, and so on. But only referring to language names, unlike our ish words. It is like ish in that it's not an independent word in either Chinese or Japanese. Let's get on with it. John can speak Italian. So much to discuss with Japanese, and I guess that's why we're here. Okay. We'll get there. Italian.
名前
It is for
名前
名前何ですか
the zero subject. We're going to put it. What is it? So this one's basically nani.
何ですか
But before certain consonants, those made in the same place as na, we drop that vowel. We say nan desu ka. N-A-N. Na, Namae.
名前すみません。
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Oh, sorry. We could do a little shorter. Ano means and not o. Noted. Eigo. English.
英語
Eigo. So it's down, it's low, high, high. Eigo.
私
She, same. Namae.
名前
You hear it on the kanji.
何
Nani?
お名前は何ですか
What is the name? What is your name? We'll say. Another correct solution. Hanase, the potential form of
話せ
to speak. Eigo.
英語
Na.
何
Namae.
名前
こんにちは。お名前は何ですか
This is your name. Konnichiwa. Hello.
お名前は何ですか
Namae wa nan desu ka? Let's get our kanji first. Namae. N-I-R for na. Mae is T-B-L-N. And we're going to need nani, which is O-M-N-R. I really enjoy the build-up of this, O-M. So all these first 4 can all be represented as O-M. And we add the N for the bow stroke. And then observe as we add the R for the mouth, it just adds it in there. R is nani, meaning what? Kind of a general purpose question word. bit more general than our what. So, お名前は何ですか?
お名前は何ですか?
We need that phonetically now. お名前は written は名前は何ですか? The syllables we need. And we'll just cut out that there. お名前は Okay. Little roundabout.
お名前は
So, our sentence will begin with French, the language name, フランス語が フランス is written phonetically as a recent loan word. フランスフランス語が話せますか? Let's get our が and we're going to need せますか. We just got to be careful not to enter it ahead of time. Alright, now to get the kanji. Can you speak French? So we need go, Y-R-A-R. And hanasu again, Y-R. H-J-R. Let's put it in place. Hanasu. フランス語が話せますか? John can speak Italian. The go we will need. John-san wa. Yeah, let's do a wa and then ga. So first one, topic marker. John-san wa. J-O-N-S-A-L. San is native Japanese. Italia. We can add I in katakana. Italia go ga hanasemasu. Ga semasu. And we need hanasu, Y-R-H-J-R. Hanasemasu. So it may take English speakers a bit of getting used to the word order in Japanese, but once you understand the basic principles, it's really logical and consistent. The verb is always going to be the last thing in each clause, each sentence. We'll never really do
Boku.
this. Okay. Boku is a sort of male speech style. Pronoun I, me, gives it a boyish flavor.
さくらさん、お元気ですか?
How are you? Sakura-san, and san doesn't specify gender, could mean Mr. or Mrs. Let's say Mrs. Sakura. How are you? Miss, of course. English has too many words competing for this. Let's make complete sentences too when we do boku. So it's got the person.
Boku.
To build it up, it should be OTC, boku, and it's going to end with a, no, O stroke. Yeah, OTCO. Originally meant like slave or servant, so a humble way to say I your slave. Boku. Also the German language greeting servus, from a Latin greeting, I am your slave. Servus tus.
僕は英語が話せます。
I can speak English. If we were saying I am speaking or I'm not speaking, just the plain verb, it would be eigo o hanasu with the direct object marking particle. Here ga.
はい、私のです。
Yes, it's mine. So, ga is traditionally called the subject marker. I like to think also the label the existential marker. Whenever we're talking about the basic existence of something, always going to be a ga on that noun phrase.
私、
Watashi, low, high, high.
き、
Boku.
僕、
Boku with a down step. Shigeru.
しげる、
And names often.
な。僕の名前は本田茂です。
Shigeruです. Okay. My name, spoken by a man, is Honda Shigeru. I would keep the basic word order, right? Shigeru.
しげる、
Or we can invert where the surname, family name comes last. Shigeru Honda. Shigeru. For learners, probably simplest
しげる、
stick with the original verb. Boku.
僕、
Boku. Namae.
名前、
Watashi.
私、しげる、
Shigeru. Low high high.
しげるさんは学生です。
Shigeru. Mr. Honorific is a student.
僕の名前はしげるです。
Name is Shigeru. 僕の名前は Shigeru です。Sounds like a female speaker, but the speech style is male.
僕の名前はしげるです。
Like anatomically, but. Oh, goodness. I think I sort of. Oh, we're doing it in. Of course. I keep doing this.
僕の名前は田中茂です。
Should be inputting Japanese, not English.
僕の名前は田中茂です。
Some of the time. So, my name is. Let's do it. Shigeru Tanaka.
桜さんは日本語が話せます。
Miss Sakura can speak Japanese.
桜さんは先生です。
Miss Sakura is a teacher.
私の名前は田中桜です。
My name is Sakura Tanaka.
私の名前は田中桜です。
Tanaka Sakura. Tanaka Sakura.
桜さん、お元気ですか？
Are you well, Miss Sakura?
桜さん、お元気ですか？
Sakura-san.
桜？
お元気ですか？
僕の名前はしげるです。
僕の名前はしげるです。Name is... Oh, we're doing it in Japanese. Is the thing.
僕の名前はしげるです。
So let's put kanji first. I've got boku, namae, N-I-R, T-B-L-N, namae wa
僕の名前はしげるです。
Shigeru no kanji wa Shigeru. Oh, let's just do it phonetically. Uh-oh, that's not good. Boku no namae wa... Oh, fooey, that was the whole lesson. Okay, on we go.
桜さんは日本語が話せます。
Sakura. Speak. So be careful of what you do with your cursor. Japanese. Boku.
僕、
Review.
僕は英語が話せます。
Can speak. Eigo, English.
はい、私のです。
Yes, it is mine. So the na is for name.
な、しげる、
Shigeru. Let's write it real quick. Grass. So it's going to be T-I-H. Uh-huh. So we go top to bottom. The grass on top. I for the spear weapon. H for that downward swooping one on the left. So it's kind of an odd stroke order in a sense, but logical on its own terms. We'll need that eventually. Anyway, we're matching. Watashi. Watashi.
私、
Ki.
き、僕、
Boku at the down step.
しげる、
It's a bit weird to have just boku as your utterance.
僕の名前は田中茂です。
Boku no namae wa Tanaka Shigeru desu. My name is Western order, non-Japanese. Shigeru Tanaka. Shigeru.
な、しげる、
Boku.
僕、
Shigeru.
しげる、
My
名前、
namae. Watashi.
私、
私の名前は本田桜です。
Name is Sakura Honda.
私の名前は田中さくらです。
Watashi, H-D-I, namae, N-I-R, T-B-L-N.
私の名前は田中さくらです。
Naka Sakura. Tanaka is a W. Naka L. And the rest we'll do phonetically. 1 tab over. Watashi no namae wa namae written ha Sakura desu. And we'll double check.
私の名前は田中さくらです。
僕の名前は本田茂です。
Name is Shigeru Honda.
茂さんは学生です。
Mr. Shigeru. Bit odd because Shigeru's the given name. Probably just leave out the Mr. is a student. Gakusei, which I think means sort of having a life of study, therefore a student. One whose life is devoted to study. I think is the interpretation of that compound word, gakusei. Didn't get it for a long time, but that seems right to me now. Okay. Boku no namae wa Honda Shigeru desu. Let's get our kanji. O-T-C-O. Boku no namae, N-I-R. T-N. Tanaka. Honda. Honda is written with D-N. Honda is W. And Shigeru desho. T-I-H. Okay, get the kana around it. Boku no namae wa. Grammatical items. S is intrusive. Desu. Sakura-san wa sensei desu. Sakura-san wa. Let's get all the phonetic stuff good to go. We're going to add Sakura-san wa sensei. H-G-H-U. And it predicts the say. Oops, excuse me. Gotta put it before the verb. Alright, let's take a break from Japanese. Many learners might sort of have a hard time with those noun particles, find them irksome, and forget them when they're producing Japanese sentences. But one nice thing about them is they're sort of signposts to guide you through the sentence. I'm going to skip Ukrainian for the second. We'll go to that next. So do a bit of Latin. Right, so whenever you have a wa, that's the topic of, you're making that the topic of the discourse. Whenever you see an o, you're dealing with an explicit direct object, and so on. So Japanese word order grammar conveying the basic relations like that depends less on word order itself and more on those particles, which gives you some freedom. So, Latin school is the topic.
Verbs.
Since these aren't native speakers, I'm less interested in the exact pronunciation. Got a good idea how Latin sounds.
Quat libros habes?
Nice question word. How many libros, accusative books, do you have?
Livia domi libros legit.
Livia reads books. Latin 2 basically had an OV, object, verb, word order, but there was a lot of freedom in Latin. In that regard, Livia reads books at home. Domi, locative, at.
Quot libros habes?
Libros. So real phonetic spelling to sound, the best we can do. Habes. How many books do you have?
Livia librum legit.
Livia. Now the verb is the final one. Legit reads singular. We're going to say a book.
Discipuli linguas discunt.
Students learn languages. here, nominative plural.
Discipuli.
Lingua is feminine. It's accusative plural. It's the object, the things we learn. Third plural subject, discunt. They learn.
Corinna linguam Latinam discit.
These grammatical categories are explicitly marked in Latin. That's why it's a really good language for teaching about grammar in general.
Corinna linguam Latinam discit.
Learns, discit, the Latin language. We can just say Latin. And so the teacher and the student learn languages. You have a conjoined subject, two single people. The verb's gonna be plural. There's two of them. That's pretty much it. Linguas, the object is gonna go right before our verb. Magister. We can think of there being an us ending underlyingly, but it gets lost and no longer surfaces in this noun class. Magister et discipulus. Latin have other ways of showing the meaning and, but this is the one this course uses here. Discipulus de linguas is the accusative plural form. Discunt. I learn Latin. We don't need to have the word for I because the verb ending is going to show who. Linguam, we're going to use a two-word phrase, Latinam. I learn it, disco, not lisco, but disco. Happens, so the word disco comes from, like the place where you go to dance, comes from discotheque, which is Greek borrowing. Happens to look like this Latin word. No connection. So a nice quick one there, and now on to Ukrainian, which I'm very, very new to. Just started this course last week or the week before. Time for some letters. So I've done a bit more on the Russian course, and they use basically the same symbols with a few little differences. Ukrainian versus Russian.
Сад,
It's showing me bushes.
сік,
Seek juice, I bet.
син,
Sin, huh?
сік, син,
Sin. Related to our word sun. Old Indo-European word. Garden. Okay.
сад,
Sat. Garden. Sat.
син, сік,
Seek. Okay, looks like the one written with that backwards N letter from an English perspective, derivative of eta.
син,
Sin here, it's a short I, like in our word sin, S-I-N.
сік,
Seek, this one with a dot on it, kind of like Turkish too, is a long high front vowel. E, like at the extreme of the vowel space. Furthest forward and highest.
сад,
Sat.
мати і донька,
Donka.
донька,
And here the soft sign, palatalizing maybe, the N. Can we hear that?
мати і донька,
Donka. Anyway, giving
мати, донька,
light quality, whatever that means.
донька,
Donka, daughter. Mother and daughter. Probably nominative forms for subjects. Mother and daughter. Mati.
мати,
Mate. Yeah. More of an I.
донька,
Lower.
донька,
Donka. So probably at an older stage, Donika, but with loss.
донька, син і донька,
Sin.
син і донька,
Donka. Okay. To my keyboard. Let's go to U for Ukrainian. Make it so thin. It had a basic S, which looks like our C. Then it was this one. Okay, we're writing Y. Good. Sin. E. Donka. Right?
син і донька,
Do. Now the basic N, and then the soft sign. What can we do for it? Just that now. It's this one. Just gotta click it. Appears.
син і донька,
Basic values there. Nicely done. Thank you. Juice. Seek.
сік,
Dad and uncle. Dad, papa, tato. E. Дядко. Oh, interesting. Dad. Tato и дядко. Дядко. Tato и if I do JA, good. So that backwards R is a ya, so the combination of those two sounds. Diphthong. Tato I diad, soft sign ko. I soft ko. Honey. Meal, meal. Miet. Miet as in medved and so on. Isik. Miet. So, M-E-D. E-Sik. S-I-K is what I'm typing. And it just converts it. D. I don't have to worry about the layout, a new keyboard layout for each language. Keep it as basic as possible to make my task easy.
Сад.
There's somebody who said sometimes for making it hard on yourself. I'm going to keep it easy as far as that.
Сік. Чай.
The harder you make it, the more you will end up learning.
Ти не мій дядько.
I believe so.
Ти не мій дядько. Не. Ти. Ти не мій дядько. Ти не мій дядько. Мій.
Jajko.
Ти не мій дядько.
Jajko. Okay, so to the
Дядько.
soft sign does seem to palatalize the to ja.
Ти не мій дядько.
The tse, nie, something kit. I guess that it's feminine. Mia, kit. This is not my cat. It seems to be a black hole sort of effect toward the E sound.
Моя донька.
Moja donika, my daughter. Feminine form, moja.
Моя. Моя донька.
Moja donika. Moja donika.
Моя донька.
Let's enter there. My daughter.
Чия донька?
This is whose? Chuya?
Чия?
Chuya. Whose daughter? And it's probably suffixed to agree with the feminine of the noun.
Чия?
Whose feminine daughter?
Донька.
Nouns inherently have gender.
Донька.
Other words like determiners, pronouns agree with them. Sometimes pronouns.
Чия? Чия?
Whose. So possessives, one sort of shade into adjectives.
Чий це дім?
Чий це дім?
Це.
What is it? Anyway, the meaning is whose house is it, but I wonder about the meaning and function of this tse, that second word.
Чий це сад? Чий це сад? Чий це сад?
Yikes.
Чий це сад?
Tse is that little word, and the sad is the garden one.
Чий це сад?
Chili. So I think the ch. Let's just try it, and then this combo e. Is that right? Chui tse is that pizza slice one. Tse. Sat is spelled as a D, I think, with devoicing when it's word final. Chui. We just saw that.
Чий це сад?
Garden is this. So tse could mean this one. Whose, this garden, with no explicit verb, no copula, like in Russian. Not sure yet. Don't know about Ukrainian. Tse, nie, mi, kit. If that's a real word or just nonsense. Look forward to. All right. Already nice little challenge by letters 2. Student.
Чай. Сад. Студент.
Student. So not palatalized.
Студент.
Student. Just like the Latin from which it's borrowed. Student. An accent. Maybe accent marks the lack
Хто вони?
of palatalization is my guess.
Хто? Хто?
Who? Хто? And
Вони.
вони.
Хто вони?
Who are they? Вони.
Хто вони?
So, oni, I think, in Russian, is that the cognative?
Вони. Хто він?
Who?
Він. Він.
Who's he? No word for he, for is rather. Who is he?
Я студентка.
Studentka, feminine student.
Студентка.
I'm a student.
Хто вона?
Хто? Who? Вона. Who is she? Me, studenti. And no accent sign. Might be like a Spanish accent rule. Me, studente. Me. Studente. Give that a try. So, looks like a possessive word, this me, but it's we. First person plural. Where are the students? Je studenti. Studenti. Not studente. Students. Not sr, got an extra letter. Intrusive. Je studenti. Studente. Is the value of that backwards and looking letter comes from a Greek eta, vowel sign. Building.
Стіл. Меню. Будинок.
Budinok.
Будинок.
So nice and parallel to building with its b, d, and a nasal consonant and a velar.
Ви студенти.
Studenti. Are you student?
Студенти. Ви.
I think it's a plural you. Are you student?
Ви моя тітка, а ви мій дядько. Ви моя тітка, а ви мій дядько. Ви мій дядько.
So I just switched to the default. It gives you words written out, and you just have to string them in the right order. A bit simpler for this part at this level.
Ви моя тітка, а ви мій дядько.
Jajko. So the meaning would be, you are my aunt, and you are my uncle. So probably sing, well, unless it's a respectful, polite form for second person. It's just the tu, the basic thou.
Хто тут?
Хто тут?
Тут.
Here. Тут. Хто тут? Хто? Who is here? And again, no word is. Just who here. Вони. Вони. Тут, I will say. Вони, they. Yeah, that's right. Just like oni in Russian. Вони. Whose house is this? So, чий, not.
Чий?
Looks little like the хто, which means who. Quite a divergence there, or suppletion, I suppose, probably related words. Is this? Oh. I think it's going to be
Це.
here, Jim.
Дім.
The main noun last in this construction, if I recall. Alright, so. Whose? Це this house. Це Jim. Haven't quite got thorough understanding of what's going on there. You are students and we are not students.
Ви студенти, а ми не
Не,
студенти.
не студент. And it looks like the last one here. This is fun, of course. They're all fun. Хліб.
Хліб. Молоко.
So it sounds like a voiced B there.
Хліб.
Хліб. Could just be the speech synthesis thing, but that's surprising.
Молоко. Молоко. Чоловік.
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 Чоловік. Чоловік.
М'ясо.
Miaso.
М'ясо.
Fascinating. So it's M apostrophe ya in a single vowel letter. Miaso. Miaso.
М'ясо.
Miaso.
Молоко.
Not just miaso, but
М'ясо.
which seems to be syllabic.
М'ясо.
Miaso. So 3 syllables, if I'm hearing it right.
Сіль.
Seal. How cool.
Я не їм мед.
I don't eat honey. Let's keyword it up again. Ya. Nye yim should be thought of as a phrase. Do not eat. Honey is my guess for this word.
Мед.
Yeah, we saw it. Miaso.
М'ясо.
Miaso. Miaso.
Хліб. Молоко. Хліб. Сіль. Молоко. М'ясо.
Miaso. Milk. Miet. Milk is mloko. Moloko. Mleko in Polish. Moloko. Bread. Honey. Miet. Moloko i miet. Did we also see A for and? Do you eat bread? Okay, the word for eat, the you eat form is, what is the vowel? The value, the double dotted I, ste. Don't know how it sounds. Oh, yiste. Let's see. Yiste. Chlieb. I'm just typing an X and it gives me the X looking one for ch. Is that it? Chlieb. Would it be a different form for the object? We will see. Do you eat bread? You iste chlieb. Eat bread. Suspenseful. What have we done today? J.A. Latin we did. Ukrainian. Let's go back to Latin. Make that our main one for the day. Not trivial. Did I say Latin? I meant Japanese. Japanese probably the most interesting. A lot of people studying it, and it's very intricate. Takes a lot of study to master, more than your average.
く、
European.
そ、
So
そ、て、そ、て、
it's just a matter of memorization. 46 plus 46.
Ba.
Phonetic signs.
く、
With modifications of them, you get a lot of syllables for a small amount of labor.
く、く、バンクーバ
Vancouver. B here standing for our V. It's the place name Vancouver. Ba.
ー、バンクーバ
Representing the sound of English.
アムステルダム。
Amsterdam.
ー、て、
て、
て、
く、
く、ば、ば、
sa. Oh, ba. We want.
ば、
て、
て、
ば、
ば、
く、
く、
に、
なに、
なに、
そ、
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 ぼく、ぼく、
ぼく、
て、
て、
そ、
そ、
ば、
ば、
く、
く、 ぼ、
right place. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. Plenty to
ぜ、
Ze.
ぼ、ぼ、ぼ、ぼ、も、ボストン、
Boston. Spelled Boston. The U is just there to make it an acceptable word form for Japanese speech habits. And the U is hard to hear anyway.
ぜ、
So it gets pretty close in sound to the English.
ぜ、モスクワ、
Closer to the original Russian.
ロサンゼルス。
There we need. Oh, Ze. Okay.
ロサンゼルス。
So what's fascinating about this transliteration is a more modernly coined one would treat loss as a separate word due to the spelling and write rosu and then start a new syllable with a. But here, sa, rosan, written across that boundary.
ロサンゼルス
And also ze for our sound ja, which would now be spelled differently with katakana.
ロサンゼルス
Worth thinking about.
も、
Ze,
ぜ、ぼ、も、く、て、
bo.
Bo.
So these two dots, they signal voicing. B is a voiced letter. Ze,
ぜ、
bo.
Bo.
The two dots again for B. Mo. Basics.
Mo.
Ku.
Ku.
Voiceless.
Te. ぜ、
モスクワ
Moskva. 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 Va.
モスクワ
Moskva. I think we're going to write that wa. Kana. Mosu. Wa is how I hear it. I can't recall.
モスクワ
Spell, yeah. So I have to rely on my ears here. So a nice feature about Japanese, though intimidating as it might seem, is there's a really, really close match between written form and the sound of it. A few simple spelling rules. And really not that many so-called irregular verbs. Just a couple that have a few quirks, but a very regular verb system. Very nice and elegant. Let's get through
Go.
this one. Whoa. This level of the kana.
ほ、
Ho. So here we have a voiceless one. Used to be a P initial, but it's shifted to a H over time.
ほ、ほ、た、にゃ、
Yeah, complex initial.
Ta.
That's why it's two symbols side by side.
た、ゆ、
You.
ゆ、
Come again.
You.
Hard to tell from the new, but I think it's four.
You.
Nyo. It's got to be written with two signs.
にょ、に、に、か、ご、ほ、
Ho is
ほ、
you is
ゆ、
go.
ご、ご、
Go again.
ご、ご、ほ、ご、
Two more.
ちょ、
Cho. As in chocolate. That's my first association with these two side by side.
ぬ、
Nu.
ちゅ、
Chu.
ちゅ、げ、
Ge. Another voiced one.
ケニア、
Kenya. Aha. Ni a. Has three syllables. Might have expected nya complex, but Kenya in the spelling.
げ、
Can only be
Ge.
this one.
アルゼンチン、
Argentine. Oh, Argentina. Argentine.
カンヌ、
Cannes makes me think of the French city Cannes. Cannes.
ぬ、
Alright.
ぬ、
Not a terribly high frequency name, but well, it does have that festival.
ち、
Cho.
ちょ、ちゃ、
With complex initials there. Mo.
も、ぬ、げ、
You'll note that one sign represents a syllable, and whenever you need to squeeze more information into it, one of the symbols shortens. It's a little smaller there. Ge is
Ge.
this one. Cho.
ちょ、
It's written as T followed by yo. Cho.
げ、ぬ、く、ぬ、アルゼンチン、
Argentine. So borrowing. Aru. Ze. N. You can write T-I for chi. Not M, but N. Argentine. Let's hear the accent.
アルゼンチン、
Argentine. Argentine.
れ
Phonetic sign voiced.
り
Beacon
りカタカナ
is katakana. Another
コロンビア
Colombia.
レベネツィア
Venice. Closer to the Italian model.
ブエノスアイレス
Buenos Aires. Here's a case. Unlike in Los Angeles,
ブエノスアイレス
we have a su at the end of Buenos, and then starts a new syllable. We could have saved a syllable there, but since it's two words in the written form, Japanese treats them as two borrowed words. Basically, Buenos Aires. Re.
レ
Ba.
バレ
Ho.
ホリヘ
Bi.
ビ
Yu.
ユレ
Bi.
リ
Ze.
ゼ
ブエノスアイレス。
Buenos Aires. There we go again.
ブエノスアイレス。
Buenos Aires. Let's hear it one more time. Oops, or not. What else we got that we can look at? Hindi, we're still getting into the alphabet, I think. So the writing system is called Nagari, Devanagari.
Duh.
Now. And it has the same origin as our alphabet. It's diverged in a different direction geographically.
T。
Duh is
D。D。D。
So the ones written with the subscript dot here on the right are with the curled tongue. We call them retroflex. D. D. It's got a vowel modifier.
D。
An antenna.
N。
N.
N。 M。 B。 Ni。 Gu。 B。
Unaspirated. B.
H。 Phi。
P.
Phi。
P. She just has an F. Phi. So she might say fa.
Fa。
That's happening in Greek. When P became a F in the spoken language. Yeah, let's just.
Y。
Yeah.
L。
L is this nice heart-shaped
L。
one.
R。
R is in the rupee sign.
Vo。
Whoa. With the higher open vowel. Ya. Higher mid vowel rather. Ya.
R。
Oops. V.
V。
R.
R。
Ya.
Ya。 Sh。
Also retro.
H。
H.
H。 Sh。
Sh, the palatal.
S。
S, dental.
S。
Sh,
Sh。
palatal. 21. Sh, the retroflex.
Sh。
See. Yeah, we're doing Hindi. Let's make a note of that.
F。
F. Yeah, I've learned with the dot specifically will be a F rather than P. But many maybe speakers conflict.
Z。
F lip. Z. So with the dot there showing it's a Z rather than a J. J.
Z。
Z.
Z。 K。
K. What is it?
K。
K.
K。
Come again.
K。
Guessing that's the F.
K。
F.
H.
The.
Z.
K.
K.
I think that might be the written mark for h in borrowed words from like Urdu or Persian. But she has an aspirated velar stop there.
U.
Is that nasalized one, which is a really cool letter in the romanization too. That M Chandrabindu, it's called, the moon dot, the diacritic there. Let's hear it again.
U.
So with nasal resonance.
He.
He. Here too. Nasalization. He.
He.
4 letters of English, but just one slender syllable.
Ir.
So what?
Ir.
That's not correct. It's a r, and we're going to let them know the sound file. Audio does not sound correct.
L.
Mm.
U.
The aspirate, number 2.
Ir.
Curled sign. It's going to have a dot, a dotted retroflex
L.
with a bra. Letters, okay. Let's go back to Japanese. Our focus one today. What is today? Day 10. All the languages. Let's do time. Ni.
2
6 o'clock. 6時。
6時
2時ではありません。
It is not 2 o'clock. I wonder what I can get away with for writing o'clock. 1.
1、
0
0. 2.
2
G. Which one is G? The hour.
G.
Time. Ni. 2.
2
1.
1水
魚。
魚
Sakana is a fish. Ji. And that kanji comes from an old picture of a fish. Ji.
じ
Niku.
肉1
Ni.
2
Gohan.
ご飯じ
Ichi.
1、2、0、
Give me. Oh, we're typing Japanese. Pardon.
2時です。
What if I do 2,
0 1 1時です
0? 1時です。It is 1.
0、
Phonetically, 0. Okay, alright. Everyone, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.